slaves from Africa, although 1.25 million of them may have come from Western Europe. Whereas European countries transported, it's estimated, 11 million Africans from Africa to the West Indies and the eastern coast of North America. So in terms of numbers, the Arab slave trade dwarfed the transatlantic slave trade. And it's often said nowadays that we shouldn't be forgiving of the British and others for engaging in this inhumane practice, because if it's wrong now, it was wrong then. And there's some truth to that, but we do have to reckon with the fact that everyone was doing it. And we need to understand why that was. And in some cases, it was because in those days, when you conquered another people, you had two options. Either you kill all their young men, or you enslave them.
So, Nigel, really we're talking about something that was an effect of war, the aftermath of war, in a sense.
Yes, we are. For example, in New Zealand in the early 1800s, there was lots of war among native Maori, and when one Maori group vanquished another, often they would enslave the vanquished, which was, in some respects, preferable to having to slaughter them. But so, although we regard slavery as abhorrent, and rightly so, we do need to understand why it was people in the past regarded slavery as a fact of life. I mean, they may well have regarded some forms of slavery as more inhumane than others, or more humane than others. But slavery for most people, for most of time, was a fact of life.
So the perception that we have of ourselves as European descendants is being the only perpetrators of this horrible thing is a little distorted and somewhat self-flagellating, I would suggest.
Well, it's complete nonsense, and it really is curious that the current anti-colonialists or decolonizers, which, as you hinted, the current fashion for decolonizing is really an American export. This obsession with British and European involvement in slavery and enslavement is completely irrational, because, as I say, everyone was doing it. Certainly, lots of people with non-white skins were into slavery, not least Africans. And then, what was extraordinary about the British and other European countries was that, for the first time in the history of the world, they abolished first the trade and then the institution. So the obsessive interest of the decolonizers in European slavery is not historically sensible. It may make political sense if you're